When most people hear the word scar, they think about a visible mark on the skin, something from a surgery, an accident, or maybe a childhood injury. But scars are much more than what we see on the surface. A scar forms anytime the body repairs damaged tissue. And because the skin is the body's largest organ, with 97% of the nerves ending in the skin, and it is closely related and connected to the nervous system, fascia, circulation, lymphatic pathways, scars can sometimes interfere with how the body communicates and heals. That's why understanding scars is so important. Not every scar creates problems, but many people are experiencing symptoms they've never connected to old injuries or procedures. So the question becomes, what actually constitutes a scar? The most obvious type is surgical scars. This includes C-sections, appendectomies, hysterectomies, knee replacement, heart surgeries, spinal surgeries, and even small incision sites. Many people think that because a scar is small, that it can't affect the body, but size doesn't always determine impact. Even tiny surgical scars can interrupt communication pathways within the body depending on their location and depth. And remember, just because the skin healed doesn't always mean the tissue underneath healed optimally. Scars can also come from physical injuries and trauma. This includes car accidents, falls, sports injuries, burns, cuts, stitches, or deep bruising. Even tattoos involve trauma to the skin. A tattoo is repeatedly penetrating the skin with needles, creating thousands of tiny wounds while depositing ink into the tissue. Most tattoos heal normally, but depending on the person, the location, and the ink, the healing process, tattooed areas can sometimes create inflammation, sensitivity, adhesions, or interference with the tissue. The body recognizes all injury, even repeated microtrauma. Sometimes there may not even be a large physical scar on the outside, but internal tissue can still develop adhesions and scar patterns after trauma. One of the biggest misunderstandings is thinking that scars are only external. Internal scarring can occur after surgeries, infections, inflammation, endometriosis, organ trauma, or repetitive irritation with the body. Adhesions can form internally and affect mobility, circulation, digestion, and nerve communication. There are also scars people forget about completely, things like vaccination sites, piercings, drain tubes, dental procedures, root canals, episiotomies, and even old childhood injuries. These may seem insignificant, but the body doesn't always see them as insignificant. If tissue healing was disrupted, the body may continue compensating around that area for years. Think of the body like an electrical circuit connected to a light. When you flip the switch, the light doesn't turn on. You know there's a break somewhere in the circuit. And if the light's flickering, there's interference affecting the flow of electricity. The body functions in a very similar way. Scar tissue can create interference with the body's communication. The body has communication systems that it really works that way. The interference may be contributed to pain, tightness, fatigue, digestive issues, restricted movement, numbness, swelling, or chronic inflammation. And many people never realize an old scar could be a part of the bigger picture. The purpose of understanding scars is not fear, it's awareness, because scars are not simply cosmetic marks. They are areas where the body experienced injury and repair. And sometimes those repaired areas still need support, treatment, and attention. When we begin looking at scars differently, we begin understanding the body differently. And that can completely change the healing journey. That is why understanding scars matters.